All right, Skye.
Yes,
Skye, where are you from originally? Where'd you grow up?
Iowa.
What part?
Like North Springs. It's a small little town.
Tell me about your family.
Um, I don't know. That's kind of hard to talk about. My biological dad, was a addict. I didn't meet him for like 27 years. The guy that adopted me, I cried because I'm sorry. Is it bad that I cry?
No, everyone cries here. Don't worry about
Okay. The guy that adopted me is the nicest guy, the greatest dad. But I've just been fucking up for like years now and just breaking his heart. My mom died 4 years ago, but I had a really good childhood. I have a brother. He's great too. Yeah.
So you were adopted,
Yeah, by my dad.
and you stayed with him until when?
Well, what do you mean stayed with
I mean,
him?
you're living in Los Angeles now.
Yeah, because I came out here for rehab.
And so you got into drugs back there?
Yeah, after my mom died, I started drinking really, really heavy.
Your mom died
4 years ago?
4 years ago.
Yeah,
How old are you?
28.
28.
Yeah.
And you came out here. So you started with alcohol?
I went down to Florida for 4 years for alcohol. Um, I got real bad, like seizing out and like hallucinating if I stopped drinking. Then I got really heavy into air duster because I found out in halfways that doesn't pop up on drug tests, but I probably shouldn't say that. Um, um, I just, in that cycle, I was just with really abusive people. And so I had to come out here and try to get help. I thought I was going to stay sober, but I just recently got kicked out of my sober living.
And air duster is your current
Yeah,
drug?
yeah,
Yeah, you're not the first one I've interviewed.
yeah.
that
That
uses
stuff's
it.
terrible.
You can buy it anywhere, right?
Yeah.
It's legal.
Shocking enough, I've been to jail for huffing it so many times because I pass out and have seizures and stuff on it. I guess that's illegal in California.
And what does air duster do for you?
It helps me not feel anything. I don't feel like non-existent.
Helps you escape.
Yeah, I think drugs and alcohol are, I mean, they're not, like, you have the normies and then people with some trauma that don't know how to cope and deal with their feelings, so they just numb it. But yeah, I mean, air duster, all you do is pass out. So I don't know why I think it's not great. This last time, I just decided I'm done with it. Can't do it anymore.
What do you think you're trying to escape from?
Um, my mom dying. She had MS, so I was her caretaker. She became paralyzed, and it was just really sad to watch. And then she died, and I just felt like everything. I just felt really bad for her. What was the question?
What are you trying to escape from, with all the drug
Oh,
use?
yeah, and I'm sure I don't think abusive relationships affect me, but I'm sure it does. Like I've never been with a guy who hasn't punched me in the face, which is not good. 'Cause I have a great dad, like a great role model. So
So there's nothing in your childhood that kind of set you up for these kind of relationships now that you're grown?
I mean, I'm sure somewhere in there with my biological dad leaving that affects me somehow. But like I said, I had a great childhood. My dad's great. My mom was great.
Your adopted dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have black eyes now. You have a bunch of scrapes, and
Yeah. It's not funny. It's really not. This is like a week old, so everything's healing up really nice. But yeah, I ended up sleeping over on Slauson in like South Central, and I got robbed, and he was punching me, and I fell into the concrete and took my phone, my bags, my clothes.
what are you doing down there?
Huh?
You're sleeping in a bad neighborhood down there, Slauson,
I know, I
South
know.
Central.
I was close to the Home Depot where they sell air duster.
Oh,
Dumb. Dumb.
do you have kids?
Mm-mm.
No kids.
No.
Where are you staying now?
Um, well, I'm homeless except one night it was just really cold out and I had walked like 5 miles the wrong direction of where I was going, so I was hitchhiking and this older gentleman pulled over and he asked me if I needed a place to stay and I said yeah. And so I've been at his house kind of for like the past 5 days, but he's gotten really weird and I'm just uncomfortable and I just need to find somewhere to go.
Wow. How do you make money now?
I don't have any money.
But like, how do you support yourself?
Like a habit.
Like if you're buying air duster or food or
I mean, it's bad, but I steal it.
you steal.
Yeah. But I mean, 4 or 5 years ago, I mean, I had an apartment, my car, I was working in a salon. Things were good. You know, I had money in my pocket. And then everything just kind of like flipped upside down and now I'm here.
Is that because of the drug use?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think drug use isn't the problem. It's like a symptom of the problem.
Yeah, that's what I believe too.
Yes.
There's something deeper that's making you use the drug.
Yes.
You think it's just losing the relationship you had with your biological dad, maybe? Losing your mom?
I mean, I met him 2 years ago, and I did not like him at all. You know, he was racist. He's against gay people. I'm not with all that. I think everybody should be themselves. But besides the point, I'm just really glad that I was adopted by someone so great and nice. So, I don't think it affects me now.
Does your biological father know your current situation?
No.
And you're too ashamed to let him know?
Yeah. Just because, like, he had, like, stopped talking to me for, like, 4 or 5 years because it was just hurting him too bad. And it's really hard to deal with. So I just want him to think that I'm doing good. So,
What do you go through mostly emotionally?
sometimes I don't feel anything, but when I talk about my dad or my mom, I get really emotional. I didn't even think I would cry, honestly, but I just like trying walking around looking for shelters. I'm just like, where's my life gone? Yeah, sorry.
What would you say is your biggest regret?
I mean, in the past, not being nicer to my mom, but it was just really hard dealing with that and having to do everything for her and feed her and bathe her and hear her cry all the time, and it was just too much. So I was kind of rude sometimes, but I mean, my biggest regret at this moment was relapsing and using drugs again. Because now I'm over, you said this is near Skid Row, looking for homeless shelters that I can't get into. And standing out in the rain. So I'd say this is pretty rock bottom.
Yeah, I can send you some places that might be able to help you. Do you have any friends?
I have a friend in Iowa. She's a good friend. Do I take her advice ever? No. But yeah, she's a good person. Helpful, thoughtful.
Why do you think you don't take her advice?
I tend to do the opposite of what is right. I don't know. Like I know it's right and wrong, but I always do the wrong. I don't know if it's easier or it's just I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Do you find you self-sabotage a lot?
Yeah, self-sabotage. I also have borderline personality disorder, so I don't trust my thoughts, you know? They're all distorted.
When were you diagnosed with borderline?
In seventh grade, and then a couple times when I was in treatment. I've always known I had it. Just like heavy abandonment issues, feelings of emptiness, things like that.
What's the most serious your BPD has gotten? I mean,
How serious is it?
yeah,
It consumes my life.
yeah.
Yes,
I mean, are you suicidal sometimes?
always.
Really?
Yeah.
So it affects your choices of partners,
Yeah,
your decision making.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, and it sucks in therapy though. You can't tell them that you want to die because then they'll put you in a psych ward. But how are you supposed to like um, get through it without telling people? So you just kind of have to keep it to yourself. Yeah.
Do you feel misunderstood by most people?
Um, yeah, for the most part. It's like, how do I want to put this? I'm not doing all this because I want to. I mean, that sounds stupid. It's like once you start and you're an addict, you cannot stop, and it sucks. And people don't get that and they don't believe that. But it takes people to like the darkest places and they still can't stop. Because it's such a mental obsession, and until you do it, it won't go away. So I think addiction is a disease of the mind, anyways.
What would you say is your biggest fear? What do you worry about?
Being alone.
Really?
Yeah.
And do you feel alone down here?
Yes.
I mean, you're hanging out in some of the most dangerous neighborhoods.
Well, I
the
called
country.
like 20 shelters in like Venice and Los Angeles, and I couldn't get referrals, and I didn't have a case manager, and I couldn't get in anywhere. And so someone I met told me to try out these places. So I'm trying, but I don't have an ID, so it's been really hard.
If you had your life to live over again, what would you have done differently?
Hmm. Probably I don't know. I don't know. I want to say not do drugs, but to be honest, it's made. I don't even know if I like who I am, so I can't say that. If I could do anything over, I would just spend no more time with my parents and try to do the right thing more often.
Do you find your borderline personality disorder kind of colors everything that you do?
Colors it what?
It affects everything you do?
Yeah, 100%. You know what's strange? You can say what it is, but in Canada they now do assisted suicide with people that have borderline personality disorder.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel hopeless sometimes?
Always. 100%. Yeah. I never feel good. I can like laugh, but I don't know. I don't feel good ever. I'm just a really sad person.
Was there anyone else in your family that had BPD?
I don't think so. I mean, my mom had depression and everything, and my brother's a psychologist, so
Has he helped you at all?
um, yeah. At first, he didn't understand. He was helping veterans for the VA, but now he's working with drug addicts instead. So he's trying to understand more.
You been in love before?
Yes. I don't know. I always think I'm in love, but they're always really mean to me. So I don't think that's love.
Do you tend to choose partners that are eventually abusive?
Every one of them is abusive. I get really nervous around guys. I don't trust them at all.
And is it just guys in particular, or is it your choice of guys?
Usually it's my choice of guys, but now I just get nervous around anybody. That anyone could freak out, rob me, beat me up.
Well, down here, you're going to meet plenty of
I
people to do that.
I know. Yeah,
A woman with black eyes is like a state bird down here.
I know. And I hate it. Everyone keeps staring at me. I'm like, oh my God, I hope this goes away soon. It was real bad, but it's healing up nice. I can't complain. But yeah.
What are your goals? Where would you like to be in 5 years?
I want a baby. Because it'd be my best friend. Just be happy. Be happy, yeah.
Are there medications or anything that you've taken that have helped you?
Yeah, usually I'm on medication. And I'm so bad at taking medication even though it helps. So I haven't been taking it, but like I said, I don't know why I'm so emotional. But I guess it happens.
Yeah. Do you think your decision to use the computer cleaner instead of the medications that might help you?
Yeah, that sounds terrible for you. I don't think people get that.
But you decide to use that instead of the medications. Is that part of your BPD?
I mean, impulse control for sure, but I don't want to say this, but I mean, meds help, but I mean, drugs and alcohol create so many more problems, but for the time being, they make you feel nothing, and it's great. But there's consequences to your actions always, so I learned that the hard way.
What do you think most of the people out there don't understand about people that have a mental disorder like borderline?
Like I said, I'm not doing this for fun. Some people just say like, just stop, or God, it's so hard to explain. Like,
Just don't do it.
yeah,
You can't just not do it.
yeah, it's weird to wrap your head around that because even when I'm saying it out loud, it doesn't make sense, but it's so true. I mean, it's distorted thinking, and it's black and white thinking, and your cognitive disorders are everywhere. Like, yeah, don't trust your first thought ever.
And then you're very misunderstood by everyone.
Yes. Yeah, I used to tell my dad that because I didn't think he understood it. He's like, why would you destroy your life? It's like, I didn't know that I was an addict. I really believe people are born addicts. I mean, maybe as a child, you indulged in something too much, you like something too much, you're obsessive, you might have had like OCD or something. And I mean, without therapy and everything, I think that it can spiral into something darker. Like, people see homeless people out on the street and they just think that they're like worthless or like they don't have value in life, but I think a lot of addicts are the nicest people I've ever met, to be honest with you.
Yeah, a lot of them are very surprisingly
Yeah, they're just
kind
hurting.
intelligent, and
Yeah,
they're just on a spiral of self-destruction.
yeah. And it's really hard to bring yourself back up when now you have nothing.
I suspect a lot of the people I interview who I describe as just a fentanyl addict or a crack addict or whatever
Yeah.
are actually borderline. They're probably BPD or bipolar
A lot of
or
addicts
schizophrenic.
are. Yeah. A lot of them are.
Yeah, there's always a mental illness behind it.
Yeah. It all wraps around that. Mental health is important.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's everything. You've had rough experiences on the street, I assume, like your face is showing right now.
Yeah, just getting beat up and robbed, taken advantage of. You just get fucked with, sorry, when you're a girl and you're homeless, you know? It's scary. I hate it. It's so scary. You can't really sleep, so you do drugs to keep you up, so something bad doesn't happen. Yeah. It's just a cycle, a destructive cycle.
Is this the lowest point of your life right now?
Maybe. I mean, alcohol really destroyed my life. I had a lot of serious complications from alcohol, but maybe, yeah, I'm sure this is. I mean,
But what's a more destructive drug for you? Alcohol or the air duster?
air duster now, which is bizarre. I used to not tell people that because they make fun of me and say it's not a drug. Yes, it is.
So you'll just breathe it, you'll huff it?
Yeah, I always get 2 cans and say I'll be done, and then 10 hours later, I've done like 30 cans, seized out, peed myself. It's terrible.
Hmm. When did you first start drinking?
Like I dabbled in it in high school, but heavy drinking after my mom died. I got up to like a gallon a day.
What would you say is your greatest strength?
I'm nice.
You're nice.
Hmm.
Because usually somebody might have BPD.
Mm.
I find they also have some really great qualities that are
Yeah, I
combined
mean,
with that.
they're kind of like split personalities, like, but my intentions are always pure. I don't think I'm mean to anybody ever.
And Skye, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
I would say I'm learning my lesson right now, but I'm not. I mean, sorry, I haven't been to sleep in days. Um, so I'm kind of all over the place right now.
How do you stay awake for days?
Meth.
Oh, you're doing meth too?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I hate it because my body's so exhausted because I've been up for 5 days, but I'm wired. And then you just start seeing things that aren't there. Sucks.
So what would you say is the most important thing you've learned?
Most important thing. I really don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I mean, the simple question would be like, don't do drugs that ruin your life, but I mean, drugs also taught me a lot about myself, and it made me, like when you get into AA, it really teaches you how to be a better person, for others and stop being so selfish and self-centered. Um, I don't know the greatest lesson I've learned.
It's all right. You're young.
Yeah,
You're still young, so.
yeah. But this is a big learning lesson. I'm sure, hopefully, in like a month, this all comes to like fluidity and something good happens.
Do you find that your BPD will like come in waves, where you're more self-destructive at times than others?
Yeah. Because I was doing really, really good in sober living. And I like myself sober. But I just don't like how I feel. I'm a good person. I just don't feel right.
And when you don't feel right, you'll do what?
What was that?
When you don't feel right, you'll do what?
The wrong thing. I'll get high.
Yeah.
It's just a quick, impulsive 1 minute. It just makes everything go away. It ruins your life, but at least you feel better. Which is bizarre because that makes no sense either. Because do I feel good? Look at me. But
All right, Skye, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Lots of luck. I'll show you where to get some housing.
Oh, yeah.